What's up, guys? It's Atris coming to you from Star Wars The Old Republic Starforge server. Today we're going to go over key bindings. Key bindings, how to set them, what to set, and what keys to set. And obviously this is just my personal playstyle. You're going to have to make that decision for your and what your playstyle is, but and this is also for PvP as well. I mostly do PvP only. I don't do a whole lot of PvE, which I do some operations with my guild. However, I mostly do PvP, but again, the key bindings are going to be typically the same for that. So let's get right down to it. So you can open up your menu by hitting the escape button um, on your keyboard. That's a typical key binding. So you're going to have, for beginners out there, you're going to have typical key bindings that are set by default. And then you're going to have your custom key bindings that you've done. So this typical one's escape is set by default. You hit escape, you go to preferences, and then on the bottom tab here, you're going to go to key bindings. So and obviously you see over here on the left side, you have a targeting, you have a quick bar, movement, miscellaneous, interface, chat, and camera. We're going to go through all of those. You typically don't have to set all those. I only typically set the targeting and the quick bar ones. And I'll explain why that is with each section. So. Okay, so the targeting that's going to be what your, just what it says, targeting. So my current one right now is tab. See here, tab will go to target next enemy. And now you have an alternate key, so you can actually have a second key, which I don't usually use. Actually, I don't use it all. But you have a second key that you can do for tab. So it depends on what your keyboard is set up. I typically use the arrow keys on the right side of the keyboard for movement. And then I have one through, let me just show you. So you can see down here, these are your quick bars. If you open up your interference editor, you actually can choose up to 6 quick bars depending on if you're a sub or if you're free to play or preferred. I'm not sure what those ones are since I'm subbed myself, but you have 6. So you can see down here where it says main quick bar. Then it says quick bar 2, quick bar 3, quick bar 4, quick bar 5, and then you have this section over here, which is red, quick bar 6. I don't use 6, but I do use 5 quick bars, so that's quite a bit, and that's quite a few key bindings. So if you click on each key binding, depending on how your layout is set on your screen, you can change the scale of them, how big they are, what's the alpha, which is what the transparency is, obviously enabled, and the number of slots. You can limit the number of slots that is, and you can see how it reduces or grows. And then you have slots per row. So what this does is, I have 12, right? So that's how many slots there are. There's 12 slots, and in 12 slots a row, that means it brings it down into a horizontal line. So as you can see, when I slide that, it changes where that's at. So you have the slots and then the slots per row. So you just hit save, and that'll keep it. Then you click on the other ones, and you can change that. Click out of that, and you see here there's actually a page. So I don't know why you would have additional page on there, but that page does change the actual icons in there, but it keeps the same key bindings. Can you notice that? So it's 1 through equals, and if I go to page 1, here's the page number here, then it goes 1 to equals. Okay, so just for my play style, because I use that right side keyboard for the arrows, that's for my movement, front, back, left, right for pan. Excuse me, the front, right, left, back, and pan. So that's going to be where my movement is, and then my thumb is right by the control button. So as you can see here, I have 1 through equals. And so if I'm using my right hand to control my movement, my left hand is up on the top of the keyboard hitting 1 through equals. So I can do all my movements 1 through equals. I also have the second key bar, the second bar here, excuse me, has control 1 to control equals. So on my keyboard, the control button is right next to the left arrow button. So my thumb is in a perfect spot where I can just actually hit that control button. Now, So a little disclaimer here, I do have a pretty shitty keyboard. It's an old ass Dell keyboard, and if you look at it, you think it's crazy because I've popped off keys um, off of it. So I don't even know what this keyboard's been like this for fucking ever. I don't even know what that key next to the control button is on my keyboard. I think it's a function key. I have no idea, but I popped that off 8 years ago, and I don't even know where it's at. On the top of my keyboard, I have F1 to F12, and I have two keys that are ripped off of that because I've hit the wrong button. So I've kind of had to modify that. And I know there's probably programs out there that if you get programmable keyboards, you can actually delete those keys off of that. So that's a little disclaimer on my keyboard for that, and it just works for me. So you have to kind of find out what works for you. So anyways, back to this. You have your movement keys, and then I have a control button right next to it. So you can see here where it says C1 to C0. Okay, that is control 1, or I'm sorry, C1 is to C equals. That's control 1 to control equals. So if I want to do my threatening scream or my taunt or whatever, all I need to do is hit that control button, boom, and I hit it. So it's, and I just need to move my thumb. So if I'm hitting my force charge or whatever, do that, boom, and I can taunt right away. It's that easy to move that key movement. Okay, this will all see. There's this kind of correlation, a difference between clicking on the mouse like this, so using the ASD buttons for your movement, and then you use this to click versus the key binding as. So that's a debate on your abilities per minute, your APM. So I've had some pretty good APM. I think it's like 45 or 47, 48, something like that, depending on tune for that. So I have a really good abilities per minute clicking just because of where my keys are set up. So then I have F1 to F12. So those keys, again, on my keyboard, they are F1 to F12, and they're right above, almost identical to 1 through equals. Some keyboards have them actually separated in groups of 4, like my girlfriend's keyboard. I played at her place sometimes, and I'm so used to mine that hers, the F1 to F4, are in a section that has like a key space, and then it has the next 4 and the next 4. So it kind of messes me up on where it's at. So obviously you're gonna play with that, and you're gonna get used to where you're at. So I have F1 to F12, and then I have another keybound action bar, and that's Control F1 to Control F12. So, and those are not typically used keys that I have. So again, I can easily hit that control button with my thumb, and I can just easily go to F1 to F12. The only actionable stuff that I actually use in PvP is Control F3 to Control F4, and that just happened years and years and years and years ago, where was running out of keys and I didn't know what else to do, so I just put them there, and I've been playing it so long, so I have to keep them there. So, and then sometimes if I really feel trolly, which sometimes I do, I keybind snowball. So if I'm in a PvP match, I'll throw a snowball at somebody just because it's that easy to keybind. So, anyways, that's how mine's set up on my screen. Obviously, I've seen a lot of other people in my guild, and their screens are a lot simpler than mine. I keybind a lot of things just because I'd rather have the abilities there and use them if I need to, like again, situational, like I've said in my previous videos, versus just not having them at all. So, go ahead and hit the escape button. Hit the not interference header. Hit the preference button, and again, I've already had the key bindings tab up. And you can also see where it says Starfighter key bindings. I don't really play that as much, but you can do that as well. And then key binding import and export. This right here is awesome just because you can actually export your key bindings and things like that into different characters and stuff. So, all right, so key bindings, we're going to go to targeting first. Take cover in place. I don't have, and you can keybind anything like mouse, like I know a couple people in my guild, they have those like 8-button mouses, and they've got those keybounds, so you can really keybind a lot of stuff. But I have this really shitty ass gateway mouse that literally just has a scroll button and the left and right, and that's it. So, but again, it works for my play style. I just keep doing what's working for me. So these buttons here, take cover. So this is usually going to be your operative or your sniper. So take cover in place. That's just actually crouching where you're at. or take cover that will actually roll. If you ever see the little green guy that's near a like a edge or something, it'll roll that and use that as cover. So then you have cover fire, set focus target, swap focus target. I'll talk to that in here in a minute. Target companion, target nearest enemy, target nearest friend, target next enemy, target next friend, target group companion 1, 2, and then target group 1 through 4, target previous friend. You get it. So here's one that I actually don't have. I have this on my tank, where you can acquire targets target and you can acquire focus targets target. So this is really handy for a tank where you can actually immediately set the target, because when you're scrolling around and playing like I do without the clicky mouse, you have to tab through a lot of people. So if you actually keybind that, you can actually acquire that target's target. So say you have a jug and a sniper and they're on the healer, and you see that, you can easily target them and then hit the keybind, and boom, it will acquire that target's target. So that really helps out. And then this is what I really wanted to discuss too, that I use quite a bit. As you can see, um, uh, toggle target marker. So what that does is it actually will target, and you can lay, and you've seen this in the game if you've been playing for a while, but for the beginners, you see like a little orange blaster or a green lightsaber and a blue shield and a red flame, little target marker, lightning bolt, star, and purple gear. So this all is useful for anything you're doing, especially if you're doing any PvE or PvP. That will really help you in marking targets and making it known for your group what to do. So typically when I'm in a PvP match, especially in fours, I will post in chat, hey, I'll target our focus, or I'll move our focus target with target marker. So then what I do is, whatever target we're going to focus, um, I target that with the yellow reticle, little target marker, and I have that targeted or keybound as T. So it's super easy for me to reach while I'm doing my stuff. I have it pretty much memorized where it's at. I will tab over to that person and I hit T for the target and focus that. So that's how I've seen some of my previous videos where I'm easily able to move the target marker back and forth. And I do it quite a bit, actually a lot. I do it. So. And then you've got all the different things here, and I'll explain kind of why I've done this. Just because some of these other targets, or I'm sorry, the other keybinds have been taken up by other functions. So I've kind of had to like learn which key function is not assigned to anything else. So um, so you got blue shield, the red flame, so I can easily hit F, Control S, and that kind of does that. You start getting too many target markers out there, and it just kind of gets confusing. So I only stick to the couple, but I have those keybound. So, anyways, that's what I do. So the way to do it is literally just click on it, and then you hit like for this the T button. So it automatically will select it, as you can see. So you see here, boom, T. So this is what's going to happen is if it's already been mapped with something, it's going to tell you right here, target marker, toggle target marker, yellow reticle has been unmapped. So that means that it was already mapped with something else, and you've removed it and it's unmapped. So I'm going to go back into the keybound T, and now it's done. So you hit apply. So that's going to pretty much be your targeting kind of stuff. So what target to focus. So let me back up. So target enemy, I just do tab, and then again, there's all this other stuff, targets nearest enemy, targets nearest friend, that kind of stuff. I don't do that. I only typically do target, which is just next enemy in my field of vision, and just because it just makes it easier for me, because I've got, I think I counted one time 50 something keybinds, so that's a lot to memorize. And then I do tab, and then just control tab to target the next friend, just because that makes it easy. I have everything I do is off that tab button as well, or I'm sorry, the control button. So if I'm tabbing through, then I can do that when I'm DPS or when I'm healing. I'll use control tab to go through and scroll through all my friends and put hots on them or do whatever I need to do. So we're going to move under to quick bar. Again, this is where I'm at the bottom here. This is the main quick bar. Then it just tells you, um, um, keep scrolling down, quick bar 2, quick bar 3, quick bar 4, you get it. So it has those thing. Now you notice here in slot 8, I don't have anything keybound there. So when they started creating the temporary quick bar, that kind of changed the dynamic. So I wanted to have that. That's where the hut ball comes up, and F8 was always my hut ball for that. So I kind of just kept that thing. So I just scrolled down all the way to the temporary quick bar, and right here, and I just made it F8. And then the second slide is usually throw the hut ball. So I or pass a mod off to wherever. Um, to that fucking Odessa or whatever. It's Control F8. So I kind of just kept that there. So, but you can see that has those different functions. Again, I use Control a lot for a lot of things. So it really opens up a lot of my options on my key bindings. 1 through equals, Control 1 through equals, and F1 to F12, and then Control F1 to F12. So, and then the movement is just a typical. I haven't changed this. Um, It just has the move backwards, the jumps to space bar, certain things like that, strafe left and right. That's where you can stay focused straight, and then you kind of pan left and right, so you can shoot if you're a merc, and you can just strafe around where if you use the movement button to turn, that's going to turn your whole body around. Mount. Mr. Miscellaneous again, target user interface, the master volume up and down, zoom in and out, and all that stuff. I have the scroll that does that, so now that'll be in the cameras. Okay, and forgive my coughing. It's not COVID. It's I just have an allergy. I've had it for like 10 years. So, and then the interface is just your normal stuff on your keyboard, like your ability pane, your character pane, your crew skills pane. Those are the stuff that was keybound, typically from the default key bindings from when you first got the game. So those are kind of in there, and you can change whatever you want to do. I haven't messed with it really for the most part, um, just because I haven't needed to. And then chat, same thing. You can keybind the chat stuff. So camera. I don't do this max zoom in and out and everything like that. My mouse scrolls pretty quick, so I just do zoom in and out is um, the wheel up and wheel down. Again, all you do is you click on it, and you'll move the wheel up or down, and it changes it. So if you want to export those, you literally just go to keybinding export. You click on it, and then you hit type in a new thing here, new one, and hit save, and that's what it is. So, and all you do is you click on it, and you hit apply, and it will apply those key bindings to where it's at, and this is what tells you what your key bindings are. Okay, so that kind of goes over key bindings, what to use, how to set your abilities up, um, as well as like target marker use and the bindings for that. So the other thing when you're looking at setting these up, and some of mine are kind of a little bit of a mess just because I've been playing it so long that I have the stuff there, but you can base your rotation off of the key binding. So like for me, this is a rage jug. Um, and again, I'm not like 100% perfect with the rotation. I just situational and whatever I play, however I want to fucking play. So, um, but I do saber throw like so. I pretty much go in line 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, and then the minus button. So I kind of just kind of go down the line. If I get interrupted for any reason, I may have to do something else or whatever. But so like my rotation would be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because then that recharges my Sundering Assault. Let me back up. I'm sorry. 3, 4, 5, 6, F3, which is Enrage, and then my Raging Burst. 7, I'll do like Obliterate, which procs the Smash, and then Furious Power, which gives you Force Scream and Furious Strike, and then kind of go back and forth. So um, I've moved some of so my secondary stuff that I don't typically use a lot is going to be in this middle bar. So which is going to be my Ravage. You know, in Rage Jug you don't really use a whole lot of Ravage on that. If you're a Vengeance Jug, you'll use that quite a bit because you Ravage and then fuck I forgot the ability right now off the top of my head to reset Ravage, and then so you can kind of get some good DPS in that part. So, and then my other stuff that I don't use a whole lot are in the F section, and then the definite ones I don't use a whole lot is the control F1 to control F11. So again, that's a little bit of a pretty good overview for beginners for key binding. I do feel that key binding for me just feels like it's a lot more fluid when you're in the battle. The only what I've noticed is the only drawback to that is fucking hut ball. So in order for me to pick the hut ball up, I literally have to reach over to my mouse. So I have to take my keys off, my hands off the damn arrow keys, pick up the mouse, click the hut ball, pick it up, and then go. And then if I need a pass and I can't see the person, so if I need a pass, I'll just tab, tab, tab to whoever I need to pass it to, and then hit F8, and it'll pass. But the problem is, like the Quest hut ball, we have to pass it upstairs. I have to physically get my mouse again, scroll up, and then click them and then hit F8 or click F8 and then throw it to wherever they're at. So that's kind of the only really big drawback that I've noticed on my key bindings on that. So, and if there's a fucking way to pick up the hut ball um, to key bind it, I have no idea. So if you guys are out there and you can tell me a way to do it, then awesome. But I don't have any other way to pick it up but my stupid mouse. So that's kind of the only drawback of key bindings. But again, I've done a lot I've been key binding ever since I played the game. In fact, I played on a little tiny handheld Bluetooth keyboard, and that was very challenging. So, but this is a good in-depth review or look at key bindings and how to do it, and then kind of what's the purposes behind it, and what's your abilities and how you kind of should set it up. And then once you set it up, kind of play with it, and then once you kind of get it set, that should be where it's set. Where the problem is when you start getting higher levels, when they expand the levels, and then you get um, new abilities, and then you have to figure out where to put that, especially if that new ability helps. Like when we hit 75 on jugs, we got Furious Power. So I'm like, well, shit. I think I had Ravage there, so I'm like, well, okay, well, I'll move Furious Power there because I'm going to use that definitely before I hit Furious Strike. So um, I kind of had to move that around a little bit, and now we've been here for a while, so that's kind of the only thing I see is kind of a drawback is learning that and then having to relearn it. But I think overall it works out pretty well. So, okay, guys, well, thanks a lot for watching, and definitely if you could hit that subscribe and that like button, it really help me out here. I'm trying to do these videos to help beginners and players that are kind of like me, where they're more casual and not so hardcore with stuff. I definitely don't judge anybody on how they play because everybody's got to learn from a certain standpoint. So I'm definitely by no means an expert on this. I have been playing since launch, and what is that shit? 9 years now. Um, and I've played all kinds of stuff. I typically do PvP only, but I do know how to do operations and things like that. And I'm a fill in for the guild for their ops night, but definitely appreciate any feedback or whatnot. But hopefully this helps the beginners at least to get some start of what they want to do, especially if they're looking at getting into PvP. Because I know when I first got into PvP, I got smoked, and it was kind of hard to go back to it. But I kept going it, and it just was such a rush, and it was fun. So at least hopefully this will help you get some of those questions answered. Because going on Fleet Chat just and try to ask. There's just all the trolls and assholes out there. So I try to help out for that too and whisper people. But hopefully this video helps you out. At least you can past some of these beginner things and get some stuff going on. But definitely if you can hit that like button and subscribe to the video. Give it a thumbs up. It'd be awesome. If you are in game on StarForge, you can send me an in-game message, Atris, and it's the letter for it is Control 0197. And then send me an in-game mail if you want, or you can whisper me if I'm online, if you have me to your friends, and I'll be more than happy to kind of help show people certain things and kind of go over some basic stuff in the game and PvP. So, all right, thanks for watching.